This is a challenge because it just makes me remember and honestly have flashbacks. So when I talk, it's like hearing her voice again or feeling her presence and feeling her energy. Because when you're used to something for so long, and now that I'm not being told what to do every second of the day, or I'm not getting voicemails or phone calls telling me, or having her pop up in my house, basically, like screaming at the top of her lungs to me that I'm not being a good young little doggy and I'm not being a respectful young little baby mama, that shit really does fuck you up in the mind. So thank y'all for being patient while I share my stories on here. But like I said, let's get back into all the eerie things that I experienced with Young Lo. So the period, the birth control, that was one thing. It got to the point where Young Lo started telling you guys, I don't remember when, but she was telling you guys that I was just this obsessive baby mother. And she kept taking advantage of that because like I was on an NDA, but now since I'm not, I'm going to be telling y'all the real version of how that went down. So she would say that I would take her period pads and I would take all her used period pads from her cycles, and I would then go to the stovetop and I would put it in a pot or a pan and I would let it soak and simmer out all the period juices and I would drink them. That was true because I had gotten too deep. I thought that what I was doing was going to make her love me more and just showing her that I would go to any lengths to just show her my love and represent what I wanted her to know, that I would do anything for her. It got that bad, but let's really talk about why this all started happening. Because you, Young Lo, you were the one who told me to do this. You were the one asking me to put my period pads in the stovetop, on a pot, in a pan, whatever it was. Sometimes she wanted it to be on a pot, sometimes she wanted it in a pan. The more juice that you can put in a pot, the less juice you can put in a pan. If you get what I'm talking about, then you can see like the concentrate and different levels of the period excess, the period sangre, if you know what I'm talking about. This was all so controlled to the detail. And there's so many more stories that I can talk about because that's what Young Lo was. Very detailed, very controlled, to the T. So this was all going on. She was making me put both of our period pads in a bowl, sometimes even in a microwave in a bowl. Like, reliving this is making me remember. The period pads was excessive. I didn't realize the lengths of what I was doing because I was blinded by love, and that is the truth. That's why I didn't even realize for a second, wow, I have Young Lo's period pad, used period pad, and sometimes she would take care of herself. She would take care of her personal hygiene. She would change her pad every 2 to 4 to 6 hours. But when I was on my cycle, I was told that I would have to keep my pad on, sometimes for 8 hours, sometimes for 24 hours, sometimes for 72 hours. And the longest time I believe that I was told by Young Lo to keep my period pad on, to just let myself